All right, all right. Are we live? Are we recording? Yes, we are. Hello, my friends. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Benjamin Theodore podcast. My name is Ben, aka Benjamin Theodore. You can just call me Ben. That's okay. I'm so glad that you are watching or listening this, whether that's on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. I just uploaded all the video episodes of the previous 4 episodes of this podcast to Spotify as well. I found out that you could do that you could have a video podcast on there. So you can watch all my episodes from this podcast on Spotify as well as on YouTube. So maybe that's nice to know. You can either listen to it or watch it. Today we are going to talk about a song that I wrote back in 2010. So that is 14 years ago already. I had to count a little bit. Time is going pretty fast, I must say. And this song is a very small, intimate song about a romance, sort of romance that didn't come to be and failed miserably. So I'm going to share a little bit about that song, about why I wrote that, about the story. I'm going to share the story behind the song, and I'm going to share some of the songwriting insights that I have for you, that I distilled from this song that I wrote back in the day. That might be interesting to you as well, if you are a songwriter or if you just love good songs in general. If you love music and you would like to learn something about songwriting. So I just love talking about this stuff, so that's why I'm sharing this with you on my podcast. Now, a few things before we get started. If you would like to support me and this podcast, you can do that by becoming my patron, I must say. I have a Patreon page on a sort of Dutch equivalent site, equivalent of Patreon, that is live, where you can support me, where you can support me from just €1 a month, but you can choose your amount. There are different tiers. You can get access to unreleased bonus tracks and demos in my vault. I have a vault with unreleased stuff, and there's even an option that I can write a custom song for you, so that's pretty cool. So go check that out if you would like to support me and my music. And really important, next week on May 23rd, my album, The Eternal Optimist is coming out, and it's been 2.5 years in the making, but I'm finally releasing it on Spotify and all the other streaming services. There's a vinyl, a CD, a download as well that you can buy. I'll leave links down below, but go check out that album next week when it drops. I'm going to do a podcast episode for every track on the album, so 11 podcast episodes in total. So make sure you're subscribed, you're following, all that jazz. Make sure that you're here, that you can also pre-save the album so it gets added to your Spotify library automatically, and that really helps me as well with the algorithm. We are all sort of ruled by algorithms nowadays, so I'm really glad that you're here. All right. So the song today is called Love You Like I Do, not to be confused by the song that got released much later by Ellie Goulding. It's a totally different song. I released this in 2019, so I don't know when Ellie Goulding released it exactly now that I'm saying this, but at least I wrote it back in 2010, so it's an older track. And let me just play it for you real quick before I share some stories about it, so you can get an idea of what we're talking about today. So it's Love You Like I Do. It's from my EP, The Art of Escaping Volume 1. That's a story for a different time, why it's titled that way. But it's on that EP, so you can check it out on Spotify or wherever you like.
about you and me. There is something going on, we can't just let it be. Is there a way to make you say that I'm the one for you? Forget about that other guy, I don't love you like I do. Even though we've spoken since years, love is laughing in my face, it's causing all these tears. Is there a way to make you say that I'm the one for you? Forget about that other guy, he don't love you like I do. Crashing in, took all that was left of me. You play this game to win. Is there a way to make you say that I'm the one for you? Forget about that other guy, he don't love you like I do. That other guy don't love you like I do.
Yeah, that's Love You Like I Do. It's so fun to listen back to this. In the previous episode, we were talking about, or I was talking about, an older song of mine as well. And I try not to listen to these songs before I record these podcasts, so it's just as fresh for me as it is for you. So it's really fun listening back to it. I haven't heard this song in years, but I was walking the dog this morning, and then I was taking a shower, and then I was thinking, oh, it might be fun to talk about Love You Like I Do. I don't know why, it just popped into my head. And it's a fun little sort of, it has this sort of Beatle-esque vibe without it being very Beatle-y, if you know what I mean. You know, it has these doubled vocals, it's just very sweet. It's like it has some George Harrison sprinkled in there as well, but it's a little country as well. But the funny thing is, what you are hearing, the person that you're hearing is, well, it is me, but also it's not me, because this is the Ben from 14 years ago. I think I recorded this in summer 2010, or it might even be 2009. So I might be mistaken, but it's 14, 15 years old, what you are hearing. And also, another funny thing is that everything that you hear is recorded late at night in the living room of my mom's house back in the day, where I was probably still, I think I was still living there, or I was just, staying over there for a while. But I remember I was alone in the living room late at night. It probably must have been, around midnight, something like that. During that time, I was making a lot of music during the night. Nowadays, I couldn't survive that. I'm 33 now, almost 34. If I would make music late at night, if I would stay up until 3 a.m., then I would need a week to recover at least. But back in the day, that was normal for me. And I had this white MacBook. If you are an Apple fan, you might still remember those white MacBooks. There was a black one as well, but I had the white one. It was like this plastic MacBook, but it was a really cool MacBook. And I had a version of Logic Express. Nowadays we have Logic Pro, but then you would have Logic Express, which it wasn't GarageBand, but it was this sort of entry-level version of Logic. And everything you hear is just, besides the guitars and the vocals, are stock Logic sounds. So the bass, I think, is like a fretless bass preset that I recorded on this MIDI keyboard that had a few keys that weren't working. So I had to draw the MIDI notes by hand when I wanted to play that note. And there's an organ that I played that's just a Logic preset. And it's a shame that I don't have that particular session with me right now. It's on a hard drive that's in storage back in the Netherlands. So maybe one day I'll show you that session. But what else do we have? There's the bass. The piano is also just the stock Logic piano, and then the guitars. That's just. That's actually my first guitar. The first guitar that I got, I remember that I bought it for 50 euros with money that I got for my birthday. I think I must have been around 13 or 14 years old when I got my first guitar. I bought it at the Feedback store in Apeldoorn in the Netherlands, which was still around then. And it wasn't this really cheap nylon string guitar that my friend Joel and me stripped. That we stripped the paint and we draw this palm tree, because we had a band during that time called Palm Tree Inc. So we kind of customized it in a way, and that was my main guitar. I think I didn't even have like a steel string guitar at that time, or I just got on my first steel string, but I was just messing around. And the guitar riff, it's in the key of G, and I'm using this right hand technique that I learned from listening to John Mayer. He uses this technique first of all on Neon, the song Neon, you know. So that's this kind of flicking technique. He only uses his thumb and his index finger, and he alternates between it. So you get this kind of groove, this kind of bounce. So that's Neon. It's played on drop C. But then I think it was also 2010 that he released Who Says, you know. Who says I can't get stoned? Call up a girl that I used to know. Fake love for an hour or so. Who says I can't get stoned? Which uses the same right hand technique as well. So I really wanted to learn that, and I started learning how to play Neon, and I think also during that time. And it took me 10 years to kind of, well, it's still not perfected, but to kind of get the groove of that technique to really get it right. But I used it on this song as well. It instantly gives it this country, folky vibe, really nice, and it has this bounce built in. So instantly you get the sort of rhythm going on, which supports the track and which makes it really suitable for a solo acoustic performance or just a small arrangement like this, like an acoustic arrangement. So it's built around this acoustic guitar part, and the slide guitar part that you hear, I think it's this one. That's also the same cheap nylon string guitar, but so I play slide on a nylon string guitar. And what I did when I wanted to release a song is I took that session from 2010, which I recorded in my living room with super cheap equipment, just a handheld microphone for recording vocals. And I remixed it a little bit. I used a little bit of pitch correction for my vocals. I just added some reverb, some stuff like that, a little bit of processing. But it still sounds very natural and very much like that demo that I made in my mom's living room. So that's the behind the scenes of the production and the writing, well, at least the production. So let's go into the songwriting a little bit before I tell you about what the song is about and what it was inspired by. There are a couple of parts. In a previous episode of my podcast, I talked about song structures. Well, if you've heard that, you might have recognized that this song has an sort of like an AAA structure. It's kind of between an ABAB and an AAA structure, meaning that, you know, it does have a verse chorus kind of feel, but also the chorus isn't that distinctive from the verse. So basically it's AAA. So it's the same section over and over again. Is there a way to make you... Oh yeah, that's kind of the chorus part. Is there a way to make you say that I'm the one for you? Forget about that other guy, he don't love you like I do. But it starts off with this.
What to do, I don't have a clue about you and me. There is something going on, we can't just let it be.
So instantly you are drawn into the lyrics because I'm setting the stage here and I'm asking questions which aren't answered straight away. So you are drawn into it because you want to know the answer to the question. What to do, I don't have a clue about you and me. So there's literally something going on, and we can't just let it be. So you are drawn into the lyrics. You really are dying to find out, at least I hope, what excuse me, what the song is all about. And songwriting, this is something that I've learned a long time ago, is all about asking questions and most of the time answering them. And this is also some great advice if you are a songwriter and you are struggling with coming up with lyrics. One of the greatest things that you can do is ask yourself questions and then answer them. So that doesn't mean you have to answer them for your audience. You could have open-ended questions, definitely. But if you ask yourself questions and then are forcing yourself to answer them, you are creating really strong lyrics. So there are a few questions, I think 6 basic questions that you could ask yourself if you are writing a song. That is, what is the song about? About who? Where does it take place? During what time or what date? With whom? There's another one. This is a long time ago that I told that I was thinking about this. You know, there are questions like this. So who, where, when, why is another one. Why? So those are kind of like your 6 friends. I was taught it that way. They're your 6 friends that you could always ask questions. So about who is this song? When does it take place? And if you are answering that, then a story is starting to unfold, which you can use as inspiration, or just use the literal answers and the questions in your song. So that is some songwriting advice.
Clue about you and me.
So it starts off the first A section.
What to do?
With what to do. What to do. I don't have a clue about you and me. So that's very much how you would say it. How you actually would say that in a conversation. So what to do? I don't have a clue about you and me. And then the B section comes, which sort of is, attached to the A section.
Is there a way to make you say that I'm the one for you? Forget about that other guy, he don't love you like I do.
And there's the re-intro.
Where'd it go now, even though
The second verse, the second A section, starts off with where to go. So the first one was what to do, and the second one is where to go. So there's this 3 stages in a song, and 3 stages are always really important. This could be, what, where, or what's the third one?
still there was blue. Who are you?
Who are you is the third one. So what, where, and who. Those are 3 stages, but it could also be past, present, and future. That's something that I use all the time as well. So that really makes for a strong song when you are using 3 stages. So this could be all kinds of things. But 3 always makes a great song. So remember that. Because this creates this timeline in a song, which takes the listener on a journey, which entices them. Let's see, there was the...
Where'd it go now, even though we've spoken since years? Love is laughing in my face, it's causing all these tears. Is there a way to make you say...
So that's a very interesting sentence. I love that I came up with that.
Where'd it go now, even though...
So, where'd it go now, even though we've spoken since years? Love is laughing in my face. So that's alliteration. Love is laughing. So it's kind of a cheap alliteration. Live, love, laugh, But love is laughing in my face. It's causing all these tears. So love is laughing in my face, but it's also causing all these tears. So what is happening there?
Though we've spoken since years, love is laughing in my face, it's causing all these tears.
And you still don't know what the song really is about. You get sort of an idea, mainly because of the B section, but it still leaves you with questions, which in this case makes a really interesting song. Then a third one.
Who are you out of the blue? You came crashing in. Took all that was left of me. You played this game to win. Is there a way to make you say that I'm the one for you? Forget about that other guy, he don't love you like I do.
Okay, so now it might be time for me to tell you the story about this song. Back in that day, this was all before I met my wife, and I was dating a girl that I knew from back in the day. Of course, I'm not going to tell you who that was, but I knew her from when we were kids, and then we kind of got in touch somehow. It must have been because of Facebook, probably. We got in touch, and we decided to meet each other, and that was kind of a first date sort of a thing, and then turn into another date and into another one. But after I think three dates, I found out that she already had a boyfriend. So that was really awkward. And we really got along well, and we cooked dinner at her place. I played her a song which she absolutely loved, so there was really some romance in the air, and we were hitting it off. But then I found out she already had a boyfriend, and she told me that in kind of this awkward way. I spoke to my boyfriend and he doesn't really like the fact that I'm seeing you. Well, duh. If you already have a boyfriend, of course he doesn't like that you are seeing another guy. So I was kind of forced to end this relationship because she wouldn't. And I didn't want to be, like the third wheel. And I left her hanging for a while, which I shouldn't have done. I got bad advice from another guy to kind of just not respond to her for a while. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just have ended it nicely. So if you are listening to this, I'm sorry about that. But anyway, it was sort of a short-lived romance which didn't end really well. And that's what this song is about. And of course, in songwriting, you make things a little bigger than that they actually were. So if I'm singing here,
for you, forget about that other guy. He don't love you like I do.
Forget about that other guy. He don't love you like I do. Of course, I didn't say that, and I didn't really, love her in that way. But you have to make things a little bigger when you are writing a song. So that's what the song is about. And I think when I played this live, I used to play live regularly. Now I don't really anymore for some reason, but. I found these lyrics to be a little harsh. Forget about that other guy. He don't love you like I do. I think I sang. There is no one in this world who loves you like I do. So it's a little nicer. But I think in songwriting, sometimes you have to be direct and you have to be strong. You have to use strong lyrics. So that's this song. Yeah, there's also a guitar solo that I played on that cheap nylon string guitar. As you can hear, there are actually some mistakes in that solo, which I left in there intentionally. Otherwise, I would have to play it again, record it again, which would not capture the same magic, the same feeling that I recorded on that particular night. But so it's really fun. I'm using a certain vocal arrangement that is using doubles. So I'm singing the lead vocal twice, which is a technique that the Beatles use, that Foo Fighters use as well. A lot of people use, which makes the vocal a little bigger, a little fuller, but also gives it this dynamic play. And because you are singing two vocals that are not entirely on the same pitch, they cancel each other out a bit, so it causes this phasing effect, which is like a natural auto-tune. And I have two backing vocals, one on the left, one on the right, which are singing a harmony part, an upper harmony, and they are panned hard left, hard right, so they create this bigger sound in the choruses.
Forget about that other guy, don't love you like I do.
There are no drums, but there are hand claps. And the bass guitar. So that's playing, the quarter notes. 1, 2, 2, 2. Then the guitar is doing some rhythmic stuff as well. And that backbeat is enforced by the claps. So yeah, so it's a very simple, a very easy going, easy listening song about a romance that didn't work out, unfortunately. I hope she's doing well. So yeah, that's Love You Like I Do. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and all those kind of streaming services. If you would like to support me and the music that I make and this podcast that I'm making, you can become my patron on my Patreon page. There's a link down below. Please feel free to check that out and to sign up. It really helps me keep going, make a lot more music. My album is coming next week, May 23rd. I'm super excited about that. But you can already get the vinyl or the CD or a download. So if you are curious about my album, if you order the download, which is also included in the vinyl or the CD option, you can listen to it straight away. So in 10 minutes, you can listen to my entire album if you buy that through my website and you support me directly, so you are not going through Spotify. Of course, I really appreciate it if you stream my music, but as we all know, that doesn't really pay the bills. So if you support me directly, that helps me the most. So if you enjoy the content that I make, the music that I make, please feel free to check that out. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, wherever you watch or listen, because I'm releasing 11 more podcasts next week. I still have to make all of them, but it's going to be fine. About every track on my album. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.